Hello, the funny people of YouTube.
Welcome to my channel back again. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about the Ghagra Choli, and I'm going to be telling you a few fun facts about it. That doesn't interest you.
Did you know that I used to be a truck driver? Well, yes I did.
I drove all over the last few years, from 2014 going on until 2018. I drove the lower 48 for Schneider, and then after that I got into a regional trucking route, delivering bread. So if those are some of the stories that might interest you along with my art, stay tuned to find out some more. So guys, have you ever started a drawing and you start out with the rough lines, and for some reason it just doesn't come out the way you're envisioning it, or at least what you vision it in your head? I mean, you can see the finished piece and you know exactly what you want it to look like, but every time you try, it comes out, the drawing ends up being something totally what you're not getting. I mean, I was honestly considering stopping it and restarting it back up, but as most things, I usually like to continue and see if it goes, and if I don't end up liking what it's looking like at a certain point, then I trash it and then just start fresh, or just stop doing it and go on with the rest of the day. But as you can see, the part that was just not coming to me was like drawing the eyes and the nose. I mean, I've drawn a bunch of eyes and nose when it comes to skeletons, but for some reason this particular lady in the drawing that I was doing was just not coming to me. And I kept on erasing it and then starting back up, and then finally after a certain point, I mean, I was happy to how it came. And you know, she does have a little bit of a goofy old lady looking smile at this point, until I started drawing the teeth. The part of drawing the teeth always tends to take a little bit of time, because I'm trying to always see that I can get the alignment of the teeth right in proportion with the nose and face, so that way she doesn't look kind of like the clown It and look goofy looking. And then I slowly started drawing out the hands and her body. Usually when I start out these characters, I mean, I kind of look at reference pictures to kind of get an idea of what I want to draw, to get my mind flowing, or my brain flowing, as you want to call it, the creative juices, and see what comes out. So the lady, as you want to call it, or the village lady, I wanted to draw her with a traditional Indian outfit, which is called the Ghagra Choli, or also another name for it is called the Ghagra Choli. So a little bit of trivia and a little bit of some facts about this drawing. As you know it, India has a long and illustrious history when it comes to its different styles of clothing, but pretty much none as glorious and exciting as the Ghagra Choli. It's also better known in most parts of India as the Ghagra Choli, or the Chania Choli, which is, for the most parts, at least in Bombay, and at least in the parts of India that I've stayed at, have known it by that name. So the little bit of history about it: the Langa's history began as far back as the Mughal era, which is when this garment was first worn by women. It flourished during that period, quickly becoming the most commonly worn garment, not just among the rich, upper class women and royals, but also among the common ladies. And then pretty much the outfit that we see today is has a has some minor aspects and a little bit of change from the ones that were worn many centuries ago. There also are more varieties from the classic ones still worn in the villages of Rajasthan to the innovative modern ones seen on fashion ramps and red carpets. This is because in the last couple of decades, Indian designers have really expanded the scope of their business and designs. If any of you ladies would like to know more about them, I mean, just Google it and type in Ghagra Choli, which is spelled GHAGRACHOLI, and you'll find a list of websites and information about it. So if you ever come across an Indian cultural event, and if that's something that you want to wear, that might be a good place to start and get some information and more about it. I'm not into fashion a whole lot when it comes to Indian style of dressing and all that, but I think it was really cool to have to draw this piece only for the fact of because of the different colors and textiles and texture and embroidery that all these different Indian clothing has. So that's pretty much what I wanted to accomplish with this character when I was drawing her. This part about doing the inking with the Apple pencil is always one of my favorite things to do, and I like the fact that you can always quickly change something, and you don't have to really worry about a permanent pen line like I used to draw with big pens, so you don't really have to worry about it being permanent. I mean, you can always go back and change it. That's one thing which I like, is very forgiving about digital art. So I've never really rendered a whole lot of hair, and mainly because I don't know, I mean, it just the way it sits on the head and how it it grows off the head and then how it falls off to the side. I mean, it takes some time to learn how to render it. I mean, it's just the same thing as drawing hands. So and then added a little cheekbone to make sure that she looks somewhat anatomical, and draw a little bun tie so it looks all put together, so that way it doesn't look like her hair is just blowing in the wind. Yeah, drawing these characters and coming up with the story behind it and what I was thinking is always something I think through while I'm drawing it, so that way when I do these voiceovers I kind of get the story right. I would love at some point to really be able to voice over or pretty much do a live commentary as I'm drawing and recording it, but mainly because of the fact that I have a little 7-year-old and he's really loud. It's difficult. So what I try to do is I try to put a paragraph together as what is it, or like kind of like some bullet points as to what I want to say, and edit it in Notepad, and try to get as much as I can covered through the bullet points. I mean, yeah, when you do the drawing live and actually talk over it while you're drawing, you seem to get a better story than having to do a voiceover. But for right now, I guess I'll make do with the voiceover till I have my own space and have a proper setup with the mic and everything. I mean, and the main thing is I just wanted to share my art, tell my story, and talking about stories. And since I told you that I used to be a truck driver, I'd like to tell you something more about it. So, for the people that are watching out there that aren't truckers, have you ever heard of Deadman's Pass, also known as Cabbage Hill? It's about 52 miles, approximately 84 kilometers, and the road spans from the city of Pendleton to La Grande in the beautiful U.S. state of Oregon. It's a challenging mountain road that winds its way through the Umatilla, I think that's how it's pronounced, Umatilla County. The elevation is roughly approximately 3,622 feet, which is about 1,104 meters as per a signboard. And it's above sea level, obviously. And it's got a viewpoint. Let me tell you, it's worth a selfie shot if you ever happen to pass it. About sunrise or sunset, this pass, requires you to drive up to an elevation change, and the weather can change in a matter of minutes. It was clear when I started at the bottom and changed to a heavy snowfall. It was beautiful to see the lights of the casino from the top, but a little nerve-wracking given it was so high up, with a series of steep hairpin turns and slopes of about almost 6%. Despite all of that, the rapid weather change during the winter, the roads do offer a really panoramic and have some really breathtaking views of the surrounding blue mountains. And it's a unique driving experience, especially like if you try it in the summer and fall months. I was fortunate enough to see it more than once with while I was driving for Schneider. Because we used to always take these long runs that used to start out all the way from the East Coast. And the run which I remember most vividly is the FedEx ground run, which used to start from Keysby, New Jersey, and used to go all across I-80 into, I think, 80 that goes to 84, and then finally you get into Oregon, and the open road is just something that just, once you get on it, it's addicting. You just want to go for as long of a drive that you really can. But yeah, and then what was I gonna say? But what I was trying to think of is, I want to tell you about this really cool truck stop, which had like a mini museum, and it was a native Indian casino called the Arrowhead Travel Plaza, which we had some downtime due to the weather when we had stopped there, because my team driver was driving at the time, and I remember that my shift was done, and I'd gone to sleep, or I was just about done and was getting ready to get ready to go to bed, and I felt the truck shaking as usual, like how we did going down the road, and then all of a sudden, after maybe it must not even been in a half an hour to an hour, we just came to like a dead halt. So I was like, that's odd. I was like, I know he has to drive at least about 8.5 hours, because that's how we usually ran. And he stopped and told me that, hey, I made the executive decision to stop him, and I trusted his word, because he'd been a driver. May his soul rest in peace, Mr. Terry Diller. He'd been driving for 30 plus years, so he knew what he was doing. So he told me, he's like, I made the executive decision to stop because I didn't really want to mess around with throwing up chains. Let me tell you, throwing chains on a tractor trailer, yeah, that's something you want to avoid if you can possibly. It's only to really get you out of a bad situation, but I guess that'll be a story for another time. And yeah. But yeah, coming back to what I was talking about, this truck stop was beautiful. In the aspect of it had some unique things that you usually not see at other truck stops, especially if you were in the Midwest and all that. I remember buying my wife and daughter a set of earrings, which is kind of cool. I mean, because one of them had like almost like a fossil kind of a version of a starfish, and then the other had a dead scorpion in it, which I bought my wife because of the fact that she's a scorpion, or her star sign is a scorpion, and her birthday is in November, so I thought that would make a good gift. And then while we were there, stopped for the I want to say it was maybe around maybe 2.5 days, because of that's how bad the weather was. My teammate and I, he was like, hey, he's like, you ever been to the casino? I was like, well, no, I've never been to a casino, and this will be my first one. He's like, guess what? He's like, this place has a buffet. And when he said buffet, I was like, oh yeah, we definitely gotta go get a buffet. Getting a buffet out on the road in a tractor trailer, that's something that usually never happens unless you stop at a Denny's, which was at a Flying J. But it was a cool experience. I mean, it was this casino had this little small little shuttle kind of bus that kind of shuttle drivers or passengers, as you want to call it, or people that were visiting the truck stop or had stopped at the truck stop, from the truck stop to the casino, which was pretty much like, I mean, maybe a 5-minute walk. But hey, if you're getting a shuttle and a service that's going to take you, why not hop on it, right? So when we went there, it was kind of cool, and it was my first time at a casino, so it almost reminded me of a small little Vegas, if you want to call it. And I remember I had, what did I have? I mean, I know that the buffet had a lot of options to choose from. I mean, the buffet was about $16, which is the most I've ever paid for a buffet, or buffet as you want to call it. And they had just about everything you could possibly think of on that buffet. I mean, like, I ate, usually I like to try 2 plates, but this was the first time I ever paid that much for a buffet and only ate 1 plate. And I actually had the option to get a takeout box, but I was like, nah, I mean, like, where the hell am I going to keep this takeout box? I mean, the truck only has so much space, so I ate as much as I could. And on the option to go back to the truck stop, instead of taking the little shuttle bus, I made the executive decision to, you know what, I think it's a good time to take a walk, because I mean, it was not as cold as it could have been, but yes, I definitely needed to walk off the little extra pounds of food weight that I put on. So yeah, so that is a little story about my trip to the casino and Arrowhead Truck Plaza. If you're ever in the area, and if you're ever going with your family or friends, try to make it a point to stop over there. It's kind of really unique and cool. At least the last time I was there, I know that it had a McDonald's in the not really the truck stop, but it was the McDonald's was kind of attached to the truck stop, so you can grab some McDonald's if you're there, which that's not really the reason you want to go to this truck stop. It's just the whole point of having to stop at this truck stop is to see how unique it is, because how often do you really stop at a gas station and end up finding it to have a casino and some beautiful artifacts and some nice native Indian, I want to say accessories. And I'll try to see if I can find pictures of this to put it on here. But if I don't, I mean, you can always go to the wonderful Google Images and just type in the Arrowhead Truck Plaza at Pendleton in Oregon, and you should be able to see a bunch of pictures that have been posted over the years from drivers, travelers. I don't know if there are any pictures of the casino that's as I said, which is like a hop, skip, and a jump from the place. But I'm pretty sure if you were to Google it and look it up on the Google Maps, you should see the casino from a bird's eye aerial view. So yes, that being said, I finally, after starting this drawing, I finally got it to this level where I changed her hair, and you'll notice that I took out the little bun that I'd originally drawn, and it's coming close to getting done, and did a little bit of shading and changing the colors here and there, and yeah, I mean, every now and then, like at the last minute, I'll always change up the colors to make sure that it all looks cohesive and it all blends in together. The pot, wonderful pot which you used to carry water in, that's something that is usually done at the villages and all that. But yeah, I guess we're about done, so hopefully you enjoyed this, and see you in the next one. So this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed what I did put out. If this is something you enjoyed, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, the usual jazz. And if you'd like to support my art, you can check out my stores at redbubble.com and TeePublic, shop name Nomadic Blue Art, or you can look it up under my name, Wilson Criado. I also have an Instagram page that goes by my handle, Nomadic Blue Art. I guess that's it. So if you all liked it, you know what to do, and catch you in the next video. Peace.